Hello, welcome to the third episode of my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm ridiculously excited for this episode. This episode is going to be the episode that blows your mind. What I'm going to teach you today is the stuff that has changed my life quite literally. This information and applying this information has actually gotten rid of my depression, but that's a whole other episode and I'm not going to get into that today. But this is how awesome this information is, and I am so excited to share it with you. First off, my little disclaimer is that I'm not the expert on this, but this is the stuff that I have been learning since October and applying to my life, and I've been learning it through three very prominent figures who do know their stuff. Everyone learns information differently. My hope is that this could be your one way that this information really clicks. And if it doesn't, I at least want to introduce you to these concepts, and I'm even going to include a few links below to other sources where I really actually highly recommend that you listen to this one podcast in particular. Maybe the way they deliver it won't resonate with you, but I'm still going to include that link below, and I'm going to highly recommend that you listen to it. I've literally listened to this one podcast at least 15 times. I'm not exaggerating, at least 15 times. Okay, so let's get into this. So are you ready to go Neo style into the Matrix? No, don't worry, I'm not going all woo-woo on you yet. But what we're gonna learn today is very mind-blowing. But don't worry, it is 100% science-based. It's backed by a ton of studies, and there's just more and more research coming out about this, which is really incredibly exciting because it's so insightful and so helpful into the way our minds work and the way that we create the reality around us based on the thoughts that we think. So have you ever wondered why you set New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, big goals, plans for yourselves, and you'll take action for like a little bit and then the plans just sort of slide away and they fall through? And have you ever wondered why you're just not taking action in your life, or why even your life is the way that it is right now, why it's in its current state? I'm here to tell you there's actually a reason for all of this. And by the end of this episode, not only are you going to know why things are the way they are in your life and why you might not be taking action, but you're going to learn so much more that is going to literally transform your life. Okay, so let's dive in. So your reality, meaning the external world around you, your job, your friends, your relationships, your money situation, pretty much everything, it's all created from the identity level within yourself. And what's your identity? It's basically made up of your habits and beliefs that are stored at the subconscious level of your brain. And you see all of this as truth. Your beliefs are truth to your mind. So let me repeat that. Your identity is made up of your thoughts and beliefs, your habits, and all of those create the reality around you. I'm going to break this down even further as it's super important. Your dominant thoughts become your beliefs. Your beliefs become your identity and all of your habits. Your identity and habits then create all of your actions, and your actions then create your reality. This means the world around you, all of your circumstances, all of your current situations are created from the actions that you take at the identity level. And those stem from your thoughts and your beliefs and your habits. Beliefs rule everything. What you focus on, what you see, how you interpret the world around you, the actions you take within that world around you, and therefore your reality. It affects how you show up in the world. So you might be wondering, where the heck did these beliefs come from in the first place? Research shows that our beliefs are formed from the ages of 0 to 8 years old. Some very prominent research is even showing that our beliefs start forming while we're still in our mother's womb. Beliefs also come from traumatic events that happen in our lives, and they also can happen from repeated situations or scenarios that have emotion attached to them. So if you grew up in an environment where your parents were always fighting, yelling at each other, then that becomes your normalized world. That becomes a part of your belief system. So it becomes comfortable for you. It's why if your parents fought, then you will probably go and seek out relationships in which you will also either pick fights or will be fought with, because it's familiar, it's comfortable, and it's cozy. It may sound super, super contradictory, but as I explain more, this will make more and more sense to you. It's also why we repeat our parents' habits and behaviors even when we don't want to. And this is also why some of those terrible, very unhelpful things, things that aren't beneficial, actually feel very comfortable for us. It's why we revert back to them even when we're trying to make positive changes in our lives, because it's cozy and it's comfortable. And ultimately, it's because our subconscious minds view it as safe. And the subconscious's job is to keep you safe. Again, our beliefs are stored in the subconscious or unconscious part of our brains. Okay, so this is a good time to start talking about the subconscious mind a little bit more. For clarity's sake, we're going to talk about the two minds that we have. And yes, you heard me correctly, we have two minds. First, we're going to talk about the prefrontal cortex, because it is the part of your brain that makes the conscious decision making. It's the conscious part of your brain. So it's responsible for setting those New Year's resolutions. It's responsible for willpower. It's responsible for processing and applying new information. It's also the place from which we want to make changes from. It's where we get inspired and where we want to change our lives. Now we're going to talk about the subconscious mind, which is also known as your primitive, primal, or reptilian brain. And again, this is where your subconscious beliefs are stored, where they come from, where you work from. Your subconscious mind is responsible for 90 to 95% of your thoughts and actions. Yes, you heard me correctly, 90 to 95%. Your subconscious mind is also responsible for very important functions in your body. It's responsible for keeping your heart going, your organs going, everything subconsciously that goes on in your body is thanks to your subconscious mind. So I don't want you to develop a negative relationship with your subconscious mind. The important thing to always keep in mind is that your subconscious is trying to keep you safe. It's always trying to keep you safe, even if it's maybe not in your best interest to keep doing the things that it's telling you to do. Its main job is to keep you alive. Your brain burns a ton of calories. That's why when you're studying in school or university for tests, it's why you're always hungry. It's because you're trying to get more calories. Your brain just burns a ton of calories. So in trying to be efficient and in trying to make sure that you're burning less calories, the subconscious mind relies on your habits and beliefs so that it doesn't have to spend calories burning and processing new information. It basically puts things on autopilot for you so it burns less calories. It's why you can be driving to the store or commuting, and before you know it, you're already at your destination without really knowing how you got there. It's autopilot. It's intended there for a reason, so that you don't have to think as much, so you don't have to burn as many calories, so that you can run away from tigers and lions when you leave your cave. Basically, your subconscious mind is trying to be as efficient as possible. Now remember, your habits, your beliefs, and all of that subconscious programming we were talking about earlier is stored at the subconscious level. That means you're on autopilot mode 90 to 95% of the time. What? So basically, we go through our lives based off of our subconscious programming. We don't think about it, we don't give a second thought to it, because it's on autopilot, it's subconscious, and we don't view our beliefs as beliefs. We view our beliefs as absolute truths. We have no reason to question it because we see it as truth. The subconscious mind sees it as truth. It sees it as how to keep you alive. You have no reason to question it until now. And remember what I said earlier? Your subconscious programming, your beliefs, and your habits all create your identity, and your identity therefore creates the actions you take in your life, and the actions you take in your life make up your reality. All on autopilot. So the obvious problem here is that we are no longer cavemen living in caves and needing to rely on our subconscious programming for the reasons that we used to. We don't have to worry about lions and caves and survival and searching for food and preserving our calories in the same way. Now we're in the world of iPhones, technology, social media at every corner, and we're also in the world of massive opportunities and where we want to step out of our comfort zones in order to make our lives better. But our subconscious mind wants to keep us safe. Our subconscious mind views opportunities and growth and personal change as dangerous. It views it as leaving the cave, and it wants to keep us in our cave. So when we're trying to make changes in our lives, our subconscious mind is going to riot. It is going to tell you no. Hopefully this is really sinking in like it did for me. This information it makes so much sense why you can try and reach a goal, why you can try to take action in your life, but all of that actioning doesn't make a lick of difference because your subconscious program is always going to pull you back to that safety, comfortable cave of your subconscious programming. It doesn't matter if the habits and beliefs are negative. It views them as positive. It views them as they've kept you alive all of this time, and therefore you need them to keep staying alive. This is incredibly contradictory and actually is not based on any logical sense anymore, because habits like cigarettes are the perfect example. Your subconscious mind, it stores smoking a cigarette as a habit, as a belief system. It's part of your subconscious programming. So even though it's negative, even though it's technically destroying your body, the subconscious mind still views it as something that's keeping you alive because it's a habit and it's kept you alive all of this time, and therefore it's going to keep keeping you alive. It doesn't make sense, but this is the way it works. Okay, so in this primitive brain process, it looks something like this. We form beliefs as children, which gets stored in the subconscious program, which then takes us through life looking for more and more evidence of the original belief, because the subconscious mind does not want to be proven wrong, so it's going to keep looking for evidence to support the original belief. Again, its job is survival. And your subconscious mind is very effective and efficient at filtering out any information that it deems as not helpful to the original belief. So based on a belief that you might have, it will literally make you not see maybe like an opportunity over here or some money over here if it doesn't support your original belief. And again, you don't see your beliefs as beliefs. You see them as the way things are. You see them as fact. When you actually start paying attention to this and noticing it in your life, it's very mind-blowing. So I'm going to repeat this. Your subconscious mind is very, very good at filtering the world around you. This is also why you can have two people in the exact same scenario or situation, and both of these people will view that situation as completely differently, because it's all based off of their beliefs, which will change their perspective of how they actually take in what they are viewing or experiencing. Okay, so this is how beliefs play out in our lives, just as an example. We form a belief from the age of 0 to 8. Our belief then forms habits into our lives. Those habits then create the actions we take within our lives, and those actions then create the results we see in our world. Let's take an example for artists specifically, since this channel is tailored towards artists. Say you have a belief that your art isn't very good. Even if your artwork is good, but your belief system sees it as bad, it means you'll show up in the world differently. You'll have an energy attached to it that shows that you're not confident in it, and people are generally drawn towards confidence. You will then go through life what I call basically pulling your punches. You'll look for evidence that supports that you are not a good artist. So you could try to put your work out there, but you'll not be consistent, or you'll procrastinate. Procrastination is probably one of the biggest sabotaging actions that I see artists take. And again, it's based off of an underlying belief system, either that you're not worthy, your art's not good enough, you're not good enough. It's all based off of that original belief. And then that determines how you show up in the world and how you're presenting your artwork to the world. And then that directly affects the results that you will then receive. This can happen in very obvious ways. Like I said, procrastination is a really good example of sabotaging behavior, but it can also show up energetically. It's the reason that you can see some artists that are just amazing artists. They're just phenomenal, but they won't have that many followers. They'll just not take the action that will get them further in their art career. And it's also the same reason you can see a artist that is maybe not that good, but they will have a massive following, and they will be they'll have tons of commissions, and they'll have like a ton of views on maybe their comic or any other works, but they're not that good an artist. But the way that they show up, the belief that they have about themselves, makes them show up differently. And people are also drawn to confidence, and therefore they will become successful because they have a belief that their art is good. Okay, so that's an example for art, but you literally show up in the exact same way with any of your other beliefs, and that includes money, relationships, your jobs, etc., etc. It might be why you always have shitty relationships, or why you always have mundane jobs, or it might be why anything in your life isn't the way you want it to be. It's based off of these belief systems and this subconscious programming that we're not even aware of. And you'll never question it until now. If you start really paying attention to your habits and the actions that you take in a day, you'll really start to notice these patterns and just how this all works. Start paying attention and you will be blown away with the evidence of this. And again, it's important to note your subconscious mind will filter out anything that does not support this belief. So maybe it's filtering out this video right now. It means it'll literally filter out opportunities, jobs, love, relationships, people that could be that one, because you won't actually even see it. They'll just walk right by, and your subconscious mind is over here paying attention to this, paying attention to your belief. And the love of your dreams could be right here, or the job of your dreams could be right here, but you will not see it because your subconscious mind is so efficient at filtering it out. So I'm going to include another concept in here because it ties in very importantly into what I keep repeating. I'm just going to let this information sink in. So another important thing to note about beliefs. Beliefs, as well, and because of what you form from the ages of 0 to 8, it's basically thoughts that are repeated over and over again until your subconscious programming accepts it as truth. So an experience in your childhood, or an experience with emotion attached to it that you might experience today, or a traumatic event, thoughts are going to be in your brain about it, and then those thoughts are going to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat until the belief is formed. So very simply, in order to change your beliefs, because yes, you can change your beliefs, don't worry, you're not screwed, but in order to change your beliefs, you basically need new repeating thoughts over and over and over and over again. We'll go back to that ladder of how the subconscious mind works. Repeated thoughts become your beliefs, which form your habits, which makes up your identity, which then is responsible for the actions you take in your life, and it gives you your results or your reality. An important thing to note here in the attempts to form new habits, form new thoughts, form new beliefs, is what we usually try to do is we usually try to change a habit. Again, New Year's resolutions, or when we set goals and big extravagant plans for ourselves. What we usually fall into doing is changing the habit. And then we enter the habit battle, basically. The original habit will always win because that is part of your subconscious programming. It, again, 90 to 95%, it will always win. And it will also always win because it is responsible for urges, and you will always give in to the urges. The other downfall to the habit battle is that once you inevitably go back to the original habit, your subconscious mind also then plays the thought loop of, see, I told you couldn't do it anyway, or see, I told you couldn't change anyway. And then it just solidifies the original belief or the original habit even further. Do not try to change your mind through the habit war. You will not win. Okay, so it's easy at this point to maybe feel a little bit overwhelmed, flabbergasted, just blown away by this information, and maybe like feeling a little bit screwed, like a little bit scared. I told you you're not screwed, so you don't need to be screwed. What I'm gonna mention here is don't start blaming yourself, don't start blaming your parents, don't start blaming your childhood for your beliefs or your current circumstances, because that's not helpful. And not only that, but I mean, like, your parents didn't know that that's what they were doing. They didn't know they were teaching you the beliefs that you were gonna then carry out, and you didn't know this either until now. View it like this. Your subconscious mind has basically been an unsupervised child wreaking havoc throughout your life. But now you get to supervise that child. You get to supervise that brain, that subconscious mind, those thoughts and those habits. This is a great starting point. But in order to change those beliefs, you first need to know what they are. And it might be scary to start peeling back the layers and start looking at what your beliefs actually are, but you'll never be able to change them if you don't know where you're starting from. The great analogy that I always hear with this is it's like a GPS. So when you plug in the information into a GPS, you need a starting point and you need an end point. Otherwise, the vehicle or the map won't know where to go. It won't know where to guide you. It's not helpful to know where you're going if you don't know where you're starting from. So step one is uncover all of those unconscious beliefs. Yes, I'm giving you homework this week. How exciting! Do your homework. Your subconscious beliefs might stop you from doing that homework, and I encourage you to push past that. Get a journal. Go along this journey with me. I will help you along this. I am here to help you through this journey. I have been working on uncovering all of my own unconscious, subconscious beliefs since October. I'm hoping that a lot of the things that I have learned along the way, the things that I've procrastinated on, the things that I have not taken the correct action on, I'm hoping my mistakes will help move you faster through this process. So I encourage you to join me through this. I'm here to help you. I'm sharing this information to help you. Let's do this. So your homework is to uncover your subconscious beliefs. So you might be wondering how the heck you uncover your subconscious beliefs. It might not always be completely obvious to you if you just look at what you might have learned from the ages of 0 to 8. The easier way to spot your beliefs are basically by looking at your external world around you, because that will tell you what your subconscious beliefs are. If you are in debt, if you don't have money, if you're struggling for money, if you have a shitty job, if you have a shitty relationship, or if you have a good relationship, or you have a great job, or if you're striving for your dreams, or if you don't go to the gym, or if you all the things you basically do or don't do, all the things that either are or aren't in your life, those will tell you what your beliefs are. Okay, so that's it for this episode, but next week I am going to break down some processes and some methods that will help you change your old belief systems, and so that you can start forming new habits, new thoughts, and a new life for yourself. This is so exciting. I am so excited for this. I'm so excited to be helping you all with this. I'm hoping that I can ease your journey a little bit more. And yeah, I hope this information has been very helpful. I hope it has opened up your mind as much as it has opened up mine. And my goal is to just help. I want to help artists get out of their funks. I want to help artists reach their goals. And I know that hopefully you're seeing just how important knowing this information is, because unless you change your belief systems, nothing else in your life will change. You will always return back to your default setting, your default programming. So no matter what actions you take, you'll always go back to procrastination. You'll always go back to the original belief systems that are keeping you caged. And I don't want that for any of you. I want you to reach your goals. I want you to see that your dreams are fully possible. You are so full of potential. You are so capable of all of this. I want you to see that. And I want to help you get there. Thank you so much for listening. I know this is a long episode. This is like the doozy. This is the information that I've been most excited about because this episode will help you so much through everything else that I'm going to talk about on this channel. Listen to this episode again and again, and as many times as you need to. And again, I also highly recommend that you listen to the podcast that I'm going to link to below. It is phenomenal. It will help you even further. I will keep expanding upon the subconscious beliefs and reprogramming your subconscious to reach your dreams. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that this has been valuable. I hope to keep giving you value. I hope to keep helping you along your journey. If this has been helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. I love hearing from you guys. If this is helping you, I really want to hear it because like I said, I'm doing this because I want to help. I'm doing this because I want to help. That's it for me this episode. I love you guys. I think you're awesome. And please join me on the next episode. Bye.